Nancy, come on. Hey everyone, welcome to another night of Wednesday Night Chats with Gini and Chris.
OWCP chats, actually.
For those of you that are new, I am Gini, my husband Chris. We teach and educate federal employees nationwide, all agencies, all unions.
I'm really excited about this. If you look at my face and I don't look excited, that's just my face. I love doing what I do. So if you're new here, welcome, and I'm not the jerk that my face says I am right now.
So those of you that are new, we answer all your questions in real time. If we don't get to answer it, we have all of our case managers on here that will be hopping on as well.
We answer all your questions on OWCP.
Yeah.
If you ask me about other things, there's a chance I won't answer you.
Like, don't ask us what the weather is in Iowa.
Yeah, don't care. It's cold.
Anyways, as you guys all know, that we are doing a share winner giveaway. We have two people that are in the lead, so two women. So let's see who's going to get the $200 gift card. And every month for as many people as you guys keep bringing on and we see the shares going up, that would be the winner. So we'll have Chris pick a winner gift for the month of February. So yeah. I don't know. I'm scared to see what he's going to choose.
Obviously, I'm going to choose something that if you don't like it, I'll want to keep it. So,
John, Mr. Zoom got the second book. So before we get into what we're going to be talking about and more about the share winner, we wanted to give Chris a big hearts. Let's see, lots of hearts and like for his second book, calling Breaking OWCP Volume 2, You Are Not Alone. Go ahead.
I just got it. So we just got him yesterday printed. And Andy, my friend in Texas who does all my website work, got it done in like record time, added to there. So it's on the website, breakingowcp.com. You can get Volume 2. You can also get, for those of you that haven't gotten Volume 1 yet, I bundled it so that Volume 1 is greatly discounted, so you can get them both together for a low price. And so go to breakingowcp.com and check out Volume 1 and Volume 2 of Breaking OWCP. This book took me a lot longer to write. Honestly, I think I lost a little motivation because I wrote the first one so fast. It was a little bit like burnout. But the other thing is we're working so hard to add franchise doctors so that we have a doctor within range of every federal employee. That's a lot of work. I mean, like, I haven't worked this hard since, like, I don't even know. I can't remember.
I got him on his toes with a whip.
Yeah, like we gave all the callbacks to her, and we went from getting 0 responses to 100% responses, which meant I went from like 100% of my time watching TV to 0%. And
watching his show that he finished in 3 days.
Well, I do everything like I just max it out. But this book took longer. I'm happier with it. I had a chance to find the things that I didn't really like about the first book and correct it in the second one, formatting issues mostly. Which, as a result, this one's easier to read. If it's possible to be easier to read than the first one, this one is. But I'm especially excited for all of you to check out the chapter on schedule awards. There's a chapter on schedule awards in the first book as well. But this one, chapter 10, is called Schedule Award Chart and How to Calculate Awards. And so what I did is I showed you the chart on the number of weeks for each body area, but I also created a worksheet that never before existed that allows you, if you know the inputs, to create or to figure out your own award. So I'm excited about that. Nobody's ever done this for you before. In fact, I've been doing this since 2007. I don't know why I just thought of it. But we get asked all the time, what's my award? How much money am I going to get? Well, now if you know what your impairment rating is and you can plug in the other elements of the formula that I give you here, then you'll be able to roughly, if not 100% accurately, calculate your own schedule award. So I'm really excited about it. There's other stuff in here that's not in the first book. I wish I would have put it all in the first book, but it was my first book to write, and I didn't realize how much I didn't write in the first book, so you got the second one. Anyways, I'm excited to offer it to you, and you can get both books at breakingowcp.com.
Yeah, so go ahead and show the book.
Oh, so here's the first book. Most of you have seen it.
So here's volume 1 and now volume 2.
There's 2. They're a little different, but all about OWCP, all about you. There's a chapter in the second book for supervisors, just like in the first book. In the second book, there's also a chapter for union stewards, because union stewards have an ability to massively correct problems before they begin. And so I taught the union stewards how to do what I would do if I was them.
Let's see, we got Tammy. Hello, Tammy.
Hey, Tammy.
Hey, Jerry.
Ron, thank you for your order, Ron.
Maria. Jerry, you shared.
Jerry, thank you for getting the book as well. I saw that.
Rich Ray, hello. We can't wait to do your Zoom union meeting with you or training in 2 weeks.
Say when.
Madeline, hello. John Zoom said audiobook. So we are working. And
John, you know how much work it was writing it? Now I got to read it?
So we're working on doing a podcast.
Yeah.
This way, especially anybody that's a federal employee that drives, like for instance USPS, or those of you that are in the back, or the nurses in the VA, or whatever, you guys will be able to hear topics with Chris talking about the same thing that we talked to, but it's going to catch those of you in the day and also those of you on here as well.
Yeah.
So it's coming before the end of the year. We will have a podcast, but it's going a little slow. He's got the book. We're trying to get franchises going. I mean, like, he's doing 3 to 4 calls with different doctors in different states. So you guys hang
Every
tight.
day.
We are coming.
Yeah.
We're coming, and we're coming large when we come. And, by doing that, we kind of waited. Our home is being built, and we want to just do our podcast stuff in our new home. So it's coming before the end of the year. And I know there's a few of you that are trying to hop on with us live through video, but unfortunately, we don't put anybody live on video.
Yeah, we'd love to have you, but Facebook doesn't really do that for us on this business page, so we can't. But thanks for trying. And thanks for being here. So share this. Just right now, hit the share button. If it takes you off the page, just come on back. It's no big deal. And then before you leave the page, hit the like button and the follow button. Last year, in the last 12 months, we had over 430,000 views of our videos.
52.
Last year, we had over 430,000 views. 452 would be over that.
Yeah.
We had over 430,000 views, but just over 6,500 people are following the page. So a lot of people who don't follow come and watch. We appreciate it, but if you could just do us a favor of liking and following the page, that would be helpful information for us.
Oh, look at all the hearts and likes. So that means you guys do want a podcast. So it's going to be really fun. It's going to be fun and educating while you're just driving around or standing around or whatever it is that you're doing. Sabrina Scott said, how do I order the book? Put the 2 books up. Sabrina, you go to I think I said too many W's, breakingowcp.com. You can buy either book number 1 or book number 2, or you can buy them together. There's a bundle on there. Maria, you said, can you please let Emmy know I emailed her that reconsideration denial today. You both are right. Very overwhelming.
We'll make sure she knows. In fact, she's on here, and so I'm sure she saw that.
Yes. We're coming. Arkansas, Oklahoma. We'll be there. California. Christopher, hello. Tomorrow.
Yeah.
Those of you that ordered tonight. Anyways, today what we're going to be focusing on is why your claims are getting denied and how to fix them. There's a lot of you out there, and we always bring up these topics because we have a huge amount of people messaging and saying, my claim is denied, I don't know what to do. So today we're going to explain to you why claims get denied, how to fix them, and what would be the next step. So pay attention. A lot of this stuff is also in the book as well. So let's get started, Christopher.
Wait, what are we talking about?
Why claims get
listening.
denied. Hello, Kim Davis said second book is so exciting. Massachusetts, hello, Victoria. Dawn said congrats on the book and building a new house. Is it in Clearwater or Clearwater Beach? Huh.
They don't want me to put a house on Clearwater Beach.
Yeah, they don't.
Because they like to keep the beach clean, and I'd probably
Yeah.
have too much fun there.
Anyways, let's go ahead and get started. So grab a pen, paper, write down any notes that you may need on why your claims are getting denied, and we do know why, and how you can fix them.
So, all right, nationwide, denied claims is like the epidemic of federal employees. many federal employees don't really realize what their biggest problems are. They think their biggest problem is their route's hard, or their supervisor's mean, or I don't even know what could be bigger. But when you're injured, the biggest problem is that your claims are denied. So nationwide, roughly 1 out of 7 people with an injury has an accepted claim. That means 6 out of 7 people with an injury do not. Now, either they don't have an accepted claim because they didn't attempt to report the claim, they don't have an accepted claim because they didn't follow through after reporting, or it's not accepted because their doctor wrote a terrible report and it got denied. But 1 out of 7 people doesn't have the problem, 6 out of 7 people do nationwide. Well, at federal injury centers, which we're part of, Federal Injury Centers is our company, 6.5 out of 7 people do have approved claims. 1/2 out of 7 have a denied claim. And that last half will eventually be approved because all timely filed legitimate claims should always be approved. Timely filed is within 3 years of the injury, or 3 years within knowing your CA2 injury was work-related. And legitimate means it happened at work, not at home, not on vacation. It happened at work. So a legitimate timely filed claim should always be approved. Well, at federal injury centers, they're almost always approved. It's a rare exception to have one that we just say, we just can't do anything with this, because timely filed legitimate claims are approved, and we know what we're doing. But your doctors don't, which is also why we're doing this franchise. We're trying to grow federal injury centers with our system of getting claims approved all around the country. The mission is to have a doctor within range of every federal employee. Within range, in my estimation, is within 50 miles of every federal employee. That's a lot of doctor's offices. Right now, most states don't have a single one, so we're working on it. If you had a federal injury centers in every city or every major city, you wouldn't have denied claims anymore. They'd probably have to rewrite the laws in Congress when we get to that point, because we're going to win in such a big way.
Hold on.
Okay.
If anybody is asking questions, if you could please wait. I'm just trying to share to all the groups and trying to get more people on. So help me share. Don't forget, we're giving away $200 gift card to wherever you want at the end of the month for the person that shares the most posts, lives, and brings more people onto our page to like and follow. Sorry.
All right, but let's talk about why claims are denied. Why is it that 6 out of 7 people nationwide have a denied claim, but not with federal injury centers? But why everywhere else? Okay, so it starts with you. It starts with you not getting copies of your CA1 or CA2, and the supervisor saying, I don't have to give it to you. It starts with you not writing a detailed employee statement. That's so important. Most people don't realize how important that is. It starts with you going to the wrong doctor. Sometimes you don't have a choice, or you think you don't. Or you get to the wrong doctor and you don't have the employee statement to help the wrong doctor do the right job. So the first 3 things really have to do with you and not knowing what you need to do or what you can do. You can choose your own doctor. You can go to any doctor you want to go to. No supervisor can prevent you from going to see your own doctor. That's in the law. It's in the law in a couple of places. 3 places that I can think of off the top of my head. You can choose your own doctor. So people think, if VA employees, I have to go see this world-class VA doctor and get my claim denied. Well, they're great doctors, but they're not trained on OWCP. Or they say, I have to go to this urgent care that my supervisor told me to go to. You don't have to do that, and urgent cares never get claims approved, ever. In fact, I was just talking to an urgent care doctor.
Oh, yeah. And
I said to him, candidly, doc, you're the doctor I tell people not to go to. Would you like to be trained so people want to go to you? But you're going to these doctors, they don't know what they're doing. They don't have time to write the kind of narrative report it takes to get your claim approved. So the denials are starting by going to the wrong doctor. Just frankly, you can't go to your family practice doctor, your family chiropractor, your orthopedic surgeon that somebody thought was the best choice for you is definitely a bad choice. You can't go to the urgent care, ER, or the VA doctor. You're like, well, gosh, that doesn't leave anybody. You're right, it doesn't. It only leaves that specialized group that's trained to do what you need, which is OWCP. And it's worth taking the time to find them. So we've got an app, a Federal Injury Centers app, and it's going to show all the doctors that we've got. And so we're updating it to add the new doctors. So the Federal Injury Centers app is a way to find a doctor. You can go to Google and search OWCP Injury Doctor in your city and state. OWCP Injury Doctor, your city and state. Any doctor that wants to be found who understands this will be found using that search term. OWCP Injury Doctor, City and State. Or you can go to Federal Injury Center's website. We've got a list of doctors. Or you can call us. We're not a referral service. We don't make money from referrals. I would refuse it if someone offered it. That's not what we're about. We're about you having approved claims. So if the closest doctor near you is somebody that's not a Federal Injury Center's doctor, but I know they're good, I'm likely going to tell you, and it'll be your choice. But choosing the right doctor is critically important in avoiding denied claims. But when you get to the right doctor, and let's say you have all the documentation, you've got your copies of your CA1 or 2, you've got your employee statement, okay, and you make it to the right doctor. Why would a claim get denied next? Well, if the doctor doesn't write a great narrative report, you're going to get a denial. All denials are the fault of bad reports that doctors write. I used to say it's the doctor's fault. It's not. The doctor could be great. But if you write a bad report, that's a denial. So it's up to you to read your report and say, wow, this is missing something. Like, I'd want to know what my narrative report says. So it's back on you to take responsibility for reading it and saying, hey, that's not what I said. That's not what happened. Or this is missing something. You definitely need to be reviewing your narrative reports. It's a lot of work. Some people are like, gosh, I don't want to do that. Well, it's a lot less painful than a denied claim. It's fixing it before the problem comes up. The other thing with that employee statement, and if you'll go to this website, breakingowcp.com, there's a tab for free downloads. Free. Free downloads. And there are 5 PDF documents that I created just for you. One of them is an employee statement document, and it just sort of guides you into writing your employee statement with the great detail needed to get a claim accepted for your doctor. And so if you'll give that employee statement to your doctor, they can use it and write their report. If your statement is extremely detailed, their report will be at least that detailed. Your chance of not getting a denial or getting your claim approved goes way up. So employee statements, copies of forms, going to the right doctor. That's how you avoid denials. But when denials happen, it's because your doctor wrote a bad narrative. You can let that go, but it's your responsibility to read it. And too many people don't. Like, our patients at Federal Injury Centers never ask to read their denials. Now, here they're going to be fine. The claims get approved. But I don't remember ever having one person say, can I read that first? They should. You know, if I were a federal employee and I was hurt, I would definitely read my narrative report by the doctor first before it goes in. So I want you to all start doing that. I'm going to be talking about it quite a bit, that I want you reading your narratives. Know what the doctor's saying about you. And when you write your employee statement, which you can get the free form off my website, then make sure the doctor uses that statement. Doesn't omit things, okay? If the doctor doesn't think it's important, it still may be. And then finally, you can contact us and let us review your narrative reports, and we're happy to do it. But if you're at a Federal Injury Center's doctor, that won't be necessary because they all write the same way, and that's just good.
I'm just going to interrupt.
Go ahead.
Teresa said, I came down to Clearwater to get some help with my case, and I'm working with Andrew, and everyone at the office down here are awesome. That's good to know. So you guys know we have Emmy, Kamini, and Jennifer, case managers. They're saying hi, so if you need to contact them, they are on here. Ron Jackson says, my question tonight is, who does more cooking at home?
Let me answer that, okay? I'm not an idiot. She does the cooking.
I do.
That one can cook. Man, she can cook. If you've seen the pictures, you know what I'm talking about.
You guys can come over to Doll's Kitchen anytime.
There's no such thing as Doll's Kitchen. It's my kitchen.
Yeah.
It's right over there.
That's what it is. It's not a
Her
restaurant.
nickname that her family gave her is Doll, so that's Doll's Kitchen.
My calling name is Doll, D-O-L-L, and that's why you see Doll's Kitchen. At the beginning when I started doing that, everybody was like, where's the restaurant at? And there's no restaurant. It's there.
And she makes this dish that's called Doll, but it's D-A-H-L. I'm telling you, it's every bit as good as the real thing.
Okay. Anyways, so that's your answer. Mr. Rich Ray said, every single carrier in Staten Island is denied because these doctors are not doing anything. We are trying to find doctors who will help and care. It's killing me. One of my carriers became homeless for this.
I know. Look, I know. There's a story, so I have this is not just like shameless plugs. It's real. He mentioned something that's in here, so there's a chapter in here. Because the subtitle is called You're Not Alone. And I've got a chapter that's horror stories. I think I might have just called it horror stories. Horror, horror stories. But one of the stories is about a woman who was on the phone with me while she was packing up to leave. She was evicted. She didn't have any place to go. And I can't hardly tell that story without my eyes tearing up. That was really a painful.
The stories we
That was
hear
painful.
are it's beyond heartbreaking for us to hear.
And so we know what's happening. That's why the book is there. It's just information. That's why we're here for information. That's why we're putting doctors as far as many places in the country that we can, so that if you don't have the information, you can still have an accepted claim. But in line with talking about denied claims, the surest way to protect your job is to have your claim approved. So if you have an approved claim, you're going to get paid to be off of work if you have to be. And they can't threaten to fire you when you're off work because your claim's approved. They can't fire you for that. I've got a story in here about a guy who was fired, and once we got his claim approved, they had to hire him back and give him all his money that he lost when he was gone.
Yep.
So having an approved claim is so critically important. And we know when there's a denial, it's just devastating. It's absolutely horrendous. And so we're trying to prevent that, and we're putting all this information out here so that you can have access to it. With the books, I recommend that union leaders go in and get multiple copies and hand them out to your members. This is information you don't have already. Sadly, most of you stewards are not trained in this. Those of you I've trained are really good at it. Some of you have found out on your own, which I applaud you for that. But your members don't have this information, and they're just getting devastated with work injuries. So I'm out here doing this, but I hope you'll all be out there passing the word on, not just for the book, obviously, but for this.
Yeah.
This free weekly training. Get people out here so that they stop having these denied claims and they know what to do.
As you guys saw, I did put a post to share, follow, and like our page. This reason that we're doing it is we have random people calling us and saying, I went home and I work for the post office, I went home and I fell. Is that covered by OWCP? That's the thing. They have no clue because you're not getting trained. So
that was a brand new person. And so new people
3
aren't trained on
days
this.
she was at the post office for. But like Mr. Ray, what you said about one of your carriers became homeless, it's killing you. And if there's anybody in New York, in the Staten Island area that wants to learn to be an OWCP doctor and help these guys, call us.
Yeah, but just so you know, we've got advertising campaigns out in 3 different ways that are out there just trying to hit all the doctors in all the states. And we're getting lots of leads. Getting doctors to say yes to this is really difficult.
Yeah, it is.
But, even for them, like I've lowered the price next to nothing, just so it covers the startup cost for them to be able to come on. And, we're doing everything we can to get doctors to get on board with you. And it's not easy.
Yeah. Marie Knowles says, how long do they have to accept or deny a claim?
So this is one of the most common questions, and the answer is they don't have anything in writing. There are no guidelines or timelines for making decisions. If you call a claims examiner, they'll say, well, we have 60 days, we have 90 days. They're just making that up. It's not in writing anywhere. So in order to speed them up, you need to be the squeaky wheel and call every day if that's what it takes. What's the status today? Well, I just talked to you yesterday. I know, this is a new day. I'm calling you again. And be the squeaky wheel for sure.
Marianne Golden, you said, I received correspondence stating that my doctor has to submit a duty status. However, I did not receive any forms. My doc wrote a narrative. My question is, do I need any forms for my doc?
So the duty status originates, it's a CA-17, it originates at your agency. And so you have to get it from your supervisor. Your supervisor fills out side A, and then you take it to the doctor to fill out side B, and then you return it to your supervisor. So to get a CA-17 duty status report, it's got to start with your supervisor. So go there, get one, and take it to your doctor.
Okay, you guys are asking how to get the book. Can you show the books? Okay, so you can get volume 1 or volume 2, or you can get both of them in a bundle. You go to www.breakingowcp.com. It's $14.95, and those of you that order tonight, we will have them all shipped out tomorrow. What's the charge for the bundle?
$22.
So $22 for the bundle. If you haven't received book 1, you can get book 1 and 2 for $22.
So the second book is like half price that way.
Suzanne. Okay, that's Emmy question. Okay, back on to the denials.
Okay, so we talked about why denials happen. What do you do when you get a denial? Because most people just throw their hands up and say, well, geez, it's over. I was denied. It's all over. Those of you that have read the books or have heard us, teach at the conventions, you know that that's not the end. It's almost just the beginning. In every denial, they send the denial to your home address, okay, to your residence. It'll be a letter from the United States Department of Labor. You should take those letters, all letters, to your doctor. Even if you think it's not important, you should take it because the doctor knows better. Our doctors for sure do. And we ask everyone to bring all letters. But the initial letters are significant because they'll say whether or not your claim was approved or denied. And either way, they mail it to you, whether it's approved or denied. So you get your denial letter, and in there will be a paragraph that says specifically why it was denied. At the back, you'll have a form called an appeal request form. On your appeal request form, there are 4 options. You will ignore every option except reconsideration. You will only select reconsideration. You will not select ECAB. I had a lady once on LinkedIn that was, she was heckling me pretty bad. I'm not sure what she was doing. Maybe she was drunk.
Oh, I remember.
And she was like, oh, what are you doing? You're not helping people. And I was trying to be really nice to her. She's quizzing me. Well, do you know how to do an ECAB?
Yes.
And I said, yeah, but we avoid those. Well, how do you avoid them? By getting the claim accepted. Don't do ECAB, okay? ECAB is like a last resort. We'll tell you when to do it because you can have an unlimited number of reconsiderations. Now, what's good about a reconsideration? They will accept new information. How do you get that? Well, they sent you a denial letter with specific reason why you were denied. You give that letter to your doctor and say, hey, doc, this is why I was denied. Write a rebuttal. So they write an appeal, okay? They address that denial in very specific terms, and that's the new information. Now, why else do you do reconsideration? Because it has the largest window of opportunity for you. You have 12 months from every denial to file a reconsideration. 12 months from every denial means you can have 30 denials and do 30 reconsiderations, okay? And you'll have 30 years to do the 30. I mean, good Lord, if you have that kind of patience. But you can do an unlimited number of reconsiderations at 12-month intervals. So that's really important. Now, you can do them at 2-week intervals, too. You can get your denial and resubmit your reconsideration right away, which I recommend, obviously. I hate waiting up to deadlines. Don't do that to yourself. But that's the opportunity. They accept new information from the doctor that the doctor derives after reading the denial letter, and then they allow 12 months for that. So always do reconsideration. Don't do a review of the written record because they're just going to review what they already used to deny you with. Don't do an oral hearing because they're really just going to consider the stuff that they already considered, and you were denied on that. And don't do ECAB because it is definitely too soon, and a reconsideration is the best option, period. So do a reconsideration on all denials and make sure the doctor writes a new report explaining why that denial reason was wrong. And that's how you fix a denial. So people come to us all the time. They came from doctors who just got fed up with it and said, we're not doing this anymore. I can think of somebody relatively recently that had 6 denials. 6 denials. That means they did 6 reconsiderations. So they did the right job. But 6 denials before they came to one of our offices. And so we were the 7th pass at this deal. And we got it approved on our first time. So, it helps you if you read the denial letter. If you try to understand what it says, if you're not sure, you can send it to us. One of us will translate it for you. And we can put it into, English so you can tell the doctor what to do. But whatever you do, don't ignore them. And don't select any of the other options except reconsideration, and make sure your doctor writes a good narrative in rebuttal of your denial.
Yeah. Rick says, will DOL ever expand to allow a nurse practitioner and a physician assistant to sign medical documents? COVID claims are getting denied due to no MD signature on COVID tests, but only small clinics are doing the majority of the testing, and those clinics are ran by nurse practitioners. I'm telling staff about the MD requirements, but they're unable to find an MD to get COVID tested.
So sometimes you need to connect the dots for nurse practitioners and PAs. And let me tell you what I mean by that. In almost every state, in fact, I don't know of any state where this is not a requirement. The nurse practitioner and the PA, in order to operate with their licensure inside their state, they have to have a medical doctor as a supervising physician. So what does that mean for nurse practitioners that don't get MD signatures? It just means they're not trying very hard. So every nurse practitioner and every PA has a supervising physician that could sign off on your reports. And the rules say that a nurse practitioner and a PA, their information, their documentation should be considered just like a doctor's, as long as there's a counter signature from a medical doctor. So your nurse practitioners and PAs need to be getting counter signatures from their supervising physicians. That'll solve that problem.
Jenna, you said, any helpful OWCP doctors near Fort Lauderdale?
I'm so glad.
Yay!
Jenna asked that?
Yeah, right there.
Jenna, you'll be glad to know
By March.
that by March,
Yeah.
Dr. Henry in Fort Lauderdale will be fully operational in OWCP. This guy is excited. He's passionate.
Oh, he's so excited.
And he made me want to bring him on when he told me that he loves the patients.
Yeah, that was the first time that a doctor actually said that instead of putting dollar signs in front of the, how do you do this program? You
Well,
know?
it's not the first time, but I'll tell you. Okay, it's not actually.
Oh, okay.
Every doctor we have did, but we're really picky. Like Dr. Wooten loves the patients. Dr. Rashamwala loves the patients. Dr. Raj and Amir, in Dallas, they love the patients. These are the nicest people ever. The doctors that we bring on are purposeful. I could give this thing away to free to the worst doctors, but then you'd be mad at me, right? Because they do a bad job and you would hate them.
Yes.
So I have to love them, number one. But no, not even, that's number two. Number one, they have to love you. And I'm not just saying that. That matters to me a great deal because I love you.
Yeah.
And I don't want you going to doctors that I wouldn't love to go to myself. If I wouldn't send my wife to them, I wouldn't want you to go. So the doctors that we have on board with us are really genuinely good guys. And, we're going to keep trying to go in that direction. So far, I haven't had to kick anybody out for being jerks. I never want to, but I will.
So, as we get clinics opened, you'll see that I'll be posting them on our page. Welcome Federal Injury Centers of Fort Lauderdale. If you want to go to the office, and I'll put their information down and everything. So we're excited that he's coming on board with us. He's excited, and it'll take him about a month to get trained, and then by March he should be ready to go. But we will definitely keep you posted. And this is not something that he can just train in 2 weeks. So if you guys want accepted claims, this is the way to be patient.
Yeah, and along those lines, I just want to say this while I'm on this topic. So he'll be in Fort Lauderdale, and we're really excited about that. We recently brought on the office in Dallas, who are exactly like, they're so friendly. Like, I'm having to tell these people, you're so friendly. Like, I'm having to wonder, is this real? Because they're so nice. I'm talking to a group out of Las Vegas, which pleases me greatly because I like to play blackjack and poker. But they are the same way. I said, you guys are so friendly. I can't not work with you. We must work together. Dr. Clark in McKinney, Texas, incredibly friendly.
Yeah,
she is a powerhouse of
awesome.
a woman.
She's awesome.
And every time I see her, she's happy and smiling and one-on-one with the patients. She loves people. And so that's what we're about. So we're trying to bring on more, but there will be one in Fort Lauderdale coming soon.
Gail Riley said, my doctor just retired, and before he did, he said he wrote everything he possibly could, and there was nothing more for him to explain.
So one of the free forms in the free downloads section of my Breaking OWCP website is a change of treating doctor form.
Yeah.
It's not an official form. It's a guide to help you change. If your doctor has retired, they're going to definitely let you change treating doctors. You don't got to stay there. If your doctor refuses to help you, you're going to get the change. You seem to have a doctor who's retired and refuses to help you. So you need to do a change of treating doctor and take your time and find the right doctor.
Kimberly Carr said, do you need the doctor news statement to send in with the reconsideration, or do you send it in and then get doctor to follow through with their new info?
Yeah, good question. So when you receive the denial, there's an appeal request form. You send that in. Usually they'll ask you to send in a statement as to why you're doing a reconsideration. All you need to say is that it was denied and there's new information to present. That's more than enough. That goes in, then go to the doctor, get the narrative report to send in with it. If that narrative report doesn't go in with it, then they're not going to have new information to reconsider and they won't reconsider it. So it's up to you to make sure it all goes in. And you can wait until you have the information and send it all in together because remember, you have 12 months. You don't have to send it in and then wait and hope, because hope is a bad strategy. It's not a strategy. So maybe just hang on to your appeal request form until the doctor's narrative is done.
Dot says Dr. Cameraman is awesome. Yes, he is.
He's probably the best.
He's like the star doctor of OWCP for us. Like, he gets narratives on.
So he's really great. He's Dr. Cameraman's the first medical doctor I ever trained, like 5-6 years ago now, and
maybe 7.
No, probably, I don't know, 5 or 6. Anyways, a while. And his very first case was a letter carrier who already had a denied claim and came to him with a denial. Jeremy, I never forget him. And he had a bad knee, he had a denied claim, and Dr. Cameraman got it accepted his first time around. So we fixed denied claims too, because all timely filed legitimate claims should have been approved anyways. So that's the way we work. We'll take the denied claims that are legit and timely filed and get those approved.
Jenna, you said, yay, how do I change doctors with Department of Labor OWCP? So that's what Chris just said.
So yeah, get that free download on breakingowcp.com and go to the form that says change of treating doctors. Get that. It's just a guide. It's not an official form, but it will help you write your request.
Ms. Rowland said, can a denial claim that's over 3 years still be fought?
It sure can. If it was timely filed in the beginning, so it was filed within 3 years of the injury, and you've not missed any deadlines between then and now, then it's not too late. But if you missed any deadlines, it might be too late. So never miss deadlines.
Kim Tucker said, I was approved under an old claim number when I had a rotator repair. In the same week, I was denied under a new claim number for a reverse replacement. I'm currently in review of written record status. They overturned the denial and say now they are sending me for a second opinion. I had my rotator cuff fixed under Blue Cross Blue Shield, but haven't had a check since 9/25/20. What's my next step? Okay,
so yours is going to be a lot more complicated. I'd like you to give us a call. You're probably going to speak with Jennifer, but we want to walk you through that, and hold your hand through it, because that's going to be really, really complicated. Not impossible, not the end of the world, but it's going to be complicated. So give us a call, 877-787-6927.
Joe Alexander said, original claim denied. If my appeal is denied, is that their end of it, or can I hire an attorney and get professional help to get it accepted?
So the attorney, to start at the end of your question, the attorney is going to hope that there's a good doctor that knows how to do the reconsideration appeal. If you're denied, you do a reconsideration. Even if you did a review of written record by error, you didn't know any better, or you did an oral hearing, you didn't know any better, when you get the result of that and it's denied, you can do a reconsideration as long as it includes new information from the doctor. So don't give up. Never give up. If you give up, that's the only reason this thing dies. As long as you don't give up, it stays alive and we eventually win.
Deandra, any OWCP doctors in or near Raleigh, North Carolina? I've recently been denied. My doctor is awesome, but he isn't an OWCP doctor. He would be a good one if trained.
So I talked to someone today from Washington, North Carolina. I understand that's close to Raleigh, and we're working on it. He's looking at the information and considering it, but right now we don't have any doctors there.
Yeah. Deb said, anyone in Chicagoland? We're coming.
And I have a call with the Chicago doctor coming up tomorrow or Friday.
Henrietta, New York, please. Kimberly Carr, we know between New York and then LA, California, there must be like thousands and thousands of you dying for a doctor. And I know it seems like we're just sticking to like the middle.
We're not.
But that's where the calls are coming from, and the doctors that are interested. But we're doing our campaign. We're pushing for New York and California. So hang tight.
But we're promoting in all 50 states. You know, my job, like I keep saying, is to put a doctor within range of all of you. So that includes all the boroughs of New York, upstate New York. It includes all the areas of California, Jersey. I mean, it includes everywhere. Everywhere.
Those of you that are just hopping on, my name is Gini, my husband Chris. We educate and teach federal employees across the United States, sometimes Puerto Rico. And we help all unions and all agencies, for those of you that are coming on. Maria Mitchell says, can you go to any doctor you want, even several doctors, prior to your approval?
Well, the several doctors thing is tricky. I've never heard a claims examiner or a nurse case manager say that someone is doctor shopping, but that seems to be like a term that I hear in the federal world when I'm around you. But They don't say that. They just don't let you change doctors. The claims examiner has the final say on whether or not you can change doctors. My recommendation is you find the right doctor up front, and if not, then let's talk about how to change doctors. But I don't recommend jumping around with doctors. I don't think that's a good way to go.
She also says you don't need to file any request to change, correct?
No, you absolutely do.
Yeah.
You have to request it in writing from your claims examiner.
Closest doctor to Northwest Iowa.
We don't have anybody in the area right now, but Iowa is one of my hot spots. I want to be able to vacation at the Field of Dreams, and I want to stand out and ask if this is heaven, and have somebody yell, "No, it's Iowa!" But no, I want to have something in Iowa, and we're working on it.
A few of you asked for the phone number to call. I just posted it. It's 877-787-OWCP. You'll either talk to Emmy, Jennifer, or Kamini. Those are our 3 case managers. Okay, keep going on your...
That was it. So that's the end of the training tonight. Thank you. Have a good night.
Okay.
I'm just kidding.
Oh, I'm like, wait.
No, that's it. So let me just give a recap.
It's not the end of the world when you have a denied claim.
It's not. Don't give up. If you give up, it's over.
Mm-hmm.
It's only over if you give up. You need to get copies of your CA1 or CA2 from your supervisor. The law says that they have to give it to you. You need to write an employee statement, a great detailed employee statement, exactly what happened. Get my document, the employee statement document on my website, Breaking OWCP on the free downloads page. Take that stuff to the doctor and make sure your doctor writes a beautiful narrative incorporating the information that you gave the doctor. Then read the narrative, okay? Don't let a bad narrative go into a claims examiner just to get denied. Read it. If you have questions about it, question the doctor, okay? It's your responsibility to make sure, because right now, everything you've heard, you know more than most doctors just after the 40 minutes we've been here, okay? So you need to review it and make sure that it's correct. Once it goes in, if you get denied, then you need to do reconsideration on the appeal request form, reconsideration. That gives you 12 months to appeal, and it allows your doctor to write a new narrative to refute the denial and send it in to your claims examiner. Once you do that, then you're in an endless loop of reconsiderations until it gets approved. Now, hopefully you find one of our offices so you don't go into this endless loop of denials. But if you don't and you are getting denied, don't give up. Never, ever, ever, ever give up. Call us.
Yeah.
Talk to one of us. Let us review the narrative reports. Let us review the denials. We're here doing this. This is what we do for you, and we don't charge for any of this. Somebody asked, do I need lawyers? Maybe, but not usually. Like, you need a lawyer if you have a car wreck on the job. You definitely need a federal workers' comp lawyer for that. Eric does that. He's awesome. If you're going to file for federal disability, you often need a lawyer to help you with that, because like 60% of those are denied with the best documentation. Schedule awards you need if you're not getting paid right. Another reason you need a lawyer is that they're just not paying you, and maybe you need a lawyer to help, remove the logjam. But just to get a claim approved, you don't need a lawyer. You need a doctor.
Right.
You need somebody who knows how to write reports. And lawyers, some of them will write the report for the doctor, but some of the doctors don't want to do that. They are offended that a lawyer would dare give them a narrative report to sign. So what you need is a doctor who will write a good report.
So just today, we had a person send me a text message, and it was to Eric Blowers, the attorney.
I'm not him.
So, yeah, and
That's
wasn't
not me.
Chris.
She's for sure not Eric.
So I sent the message to Eric, and the reason why I'm telling you because he said auto accident. The lady was upset because she found an attorney, a PI attorney, that was going to help her with her wreck. It happened to be because she didn't go through OWCP for her wreck. She just got regular Joe Schmo attorney that's on the billboard, and not go to a federal attorney.
That's a mistake.
She had over $100,000 in bills. The PI attorney had to pay all the doctors and all her MRIs, and she walked away with $0.
Yeah.
Now, when Eric happened to call and said for me to make sure I tell you guys, you have to call a federal attorney first. Call one first, because that way, when you work with the federal attorney who knows what they're doing in a auto accident as a federal employee, you're going to get some money in your pocket. Because Eric told me today that lady could have got 20% and she still would have had some money in her pocket. Now she has zero. Her claim is denied. Her car is wrecked. She got nothing from the PI attorney. And so she still has bills because $100,000 didn't cover it.
So if you're in a car wreck tomorrow,
Call
and
Eric.
you're at work when you're, driving an LOV or whatever, don't call the first PI billboard that you see, okay? You need a federal work comp lawyer who will, by the way, when you call Eric, or any federal work comp lawyer, but we recommend Eric, when you call Eric Blowers, he will work with a PI lawyer in your area, in your state. So let him find a lawyer for you.
Yeah.
You will end up with 20% of the settlement after attorneys or after expenses, not just attorney's fees, court costs, whatever. But you get 20% by rule. The Department of Labor says that. So that's your part. You don't have to pay the lawyer. You get the 20%. So go the route of an OWCP lawyer.
Yeah. Rich Ray, you said looking forward to our meeting. We got a lot to talk about. Just
Yeah,
want to say
same here,
thank
Rich.
you in advance. We're really excited. We
Yeah.
we definitely want to come to New York to visit all you guys and everybody in California. Everybody was like, "When are you guys coming?" We will be there. It kind of sucks because right now, because of COVID, no one's able to do union meetings because we would. And then on top of that, there's no doctor. So when we train you, and when we train you thoroughly for 3 hours, you're ready to go get a doctor because now you know what to do and there is no doctor. So that's why we haven't came to you guys personally and visited every state yet, but we will.
We really want to. But, a lot of unions now are using Zoom. We're happy to jump on and to do a live training. And honestly, we miss you because before COVID, we were traveling around all the time, like 54 times in 52 weeks. We're in an airplane. And going to visit you, to teach you. And there's been a little bit of withdrawal on my part. Like in the beginning of this COVID lockdown, I was like, man, it's just, I want to go back and do what we are doing, which is talk to you. So we have these internet portals we can use, and I'd be more than happy to do training for as long as you want me to train online where I can see your faces.
Alitia Rowland. Sorry if I pronounced your name wrong, Miss Rowland. Dr. Chris. Emmy and
Okay, I'm not a doctor, but thank you. That was a nice compliment.
Dr. Chris, Emmy and all the staffs at the Norwood Federal Injury Center is great, even though I drive them crazy.
Well, keep that up. Thank you for the compliment.
Maria Mitchell says, regarding the request form to change doctors, I was asking if I need that while I'm being denied, not if I get approved.
You're going to need it regardless. If your claims examiner has designated a doctor as your treating doctor, and you need to call your claims examiner and see if that's happened, that's step one. Have they already designated a doctor as a treating doctor? If so, then you need to write a letter requesting a change. If not, just confirm with your claims examiner that you don't have a treating doctor of record, so that means I can go choose another one, right? They'll say yes.
Vicky said, if you have a claim denied, can you get a different doctor to write a narrative?
Yeah, you can always get another doctor to write a narrative. You can always do that.
Tammy Hill said, thank you. Lots of helpful information tonight. We're not getting off. I don't know why he said that, because then I saw all the views just dropped real quick.
I was just kidding. I'm not going anywhere.
Vinny said, had an ulnar nerve revision surgery and carpal tunnel surgery on 11/2017. Had NALC handle getting my claim accepted for surgery. Asked me to get info needed to help a claim get accepted, but the claim got denied. Did only telephone hearing in regards to this claim, but was denied. I have an open claim for a left arm. I had rotator cuff repair surgery on 5/20. With this approved, but now I'm wondering how would I be able to get my elbow surgery covered by OWCP with carpal tunnel with them combining it all into one claim?
All right.
That was a lot. Sorry.
No, the key is you can only have surgery on an approved condition that is surgical. Somebody will call me occasionally and say, I've got this knee injury and they won't approve surgery. And I ask, well, what's your approved condition? Knee strain. Well, strain's not surgical. So what you need is to make sure that a surgical diagnosis is in your list of approved conditions. You do that by getting a diagnosis expansion and have your doctor write a narrative report explaining why these new conditions are related to the injury. A great, detailed, beautiful narrative linking it to the job. And then once they have added a diagnosis that is surgical, then the surgical authorization will be nearly automatic.
I have to tell you, there are some doctors that Chris has trained. I was talking to one last week. He said for one narrative, he takes about 4 to 5 hours. And somebody
Which means he needs to be retrained.
Another doctor,
That's a long time.
another patient took him 10 hours to write a narrative because of a combination claim like this. So you guys be careful. Make sure, like Chris said at the beginning, make sure you write your, what is the statement?
Your employee statement.
Your employee statement with detail. Like, detailed. When I say detailed, detailed.
Like, what time did it happen?
Yeah.
Where was I at? If I was in a building, what floor? If I was in a staircase, what level? What temperature was it out? Who was there watching? How did I feel? What did I see, smell, and hear?
Yeah.
Like, an incredible amount of detail. But on the employee statement document, I give you some tips like that.
Yeah, like, you know, this, like he said, smell. It could be your heater going up in your LLV, or your mail truck is going to burn into pieces, or there was like a hole in the ground and you didn't see it and your foot fell in. That one story you always tell.
Yeah.
So, I mean, like, that's why you have to be so detailed. You want DOL to see the detail that the doctor's writing. So,
Right.
Una Barlow, you asked if it's 20% after the lawyer gets his cut for
Yes.
DOL. Yes.
It's 20% after all fees,
Yeah.
all expenses.
So everything is all paid, doctors, whoever, DOL, and then you get a check for 20%.
Right.
That's what Eric told us. Dennis Gonzalez, you said if I had only found you guys 5 years ago. This is why we tell you guys, share. Because there's other people like you guys that are injured and that wish they knew us from before. So do this by sharing our page, sharing our posts about our Wednesday night chats, and telling people just to hop on. I mean, at the end of the week, we wind up getting, like last week's video, our live, we had 12,000 views. So it's getting there, but come on. That's why we could answer the questions. I mean, if this happens to go longer because there's more people on it, we'd stay on.
Yep.
So invite your friends, invite your coworkers, because we don't want them to say, I wish I found you guys 5 years ago, 3 years ago.
Yeah, 5 years later, we don't want to have more people saying, we wish we would have seen you 5 years ago, which would have been today.
You know, talk to your Facebook admin, allow me to post stuff. I know, like...
She's talking about your union group pages?
Yeah, like AFGE today, you know, they ask questions, and I'll say I'm allowed to post. I was told I could post. So... this is why, that's all I could put in your questionnaire.
And let your union leadership know that this isn't a place that's selling anything. They're not going to have to worry about compliance issues with us because we're not asking for anything in return. We just want you to watch.
Yeah.
And this doesn't cost anything to anybody, and we're not a referral service. There are no kickbacks, no referral fees, nothing like that. We're here to teach, okay? You learn from me and go to whatever doctor you want to go to. Should you decide to choose one of ours, awesome. That means 6.5 out of 7 times you'll get your claim approved. If you want to go to some other doctor, you can. I'm still going to teach you. We're going to be happy to teach you and happy to know you.
Yeah, Suzanne, you said you gave 2 people your books and nothing. Well, you know what? When they get injured, they'll wish that they took your advice. All you got to say is if you get the book for somebody, or you're just telling them, hey, you never know when you can get injured on the job. Do you even know what your rights are or what to do if you get injured? So this is why we do this. And we repeat a lot of this stuff as the months go on through the years.
Sure.
Through the year. So we'll come back to how to file your claim, what claims to file in another couple months in the summer. We just keep doing this so you guys, it gets stuck in your head.
And we'll answer your random questions too. Like a question about, a federal personal injury car wreck wasn't on the list, or the question about a duty status report wasn't what we were talking about. We'll answer whatever questions you have. It's fine.
Yeah, so...
even if it's not on the topic we're discussing that night, we're still going to answer your questions.
Yeah, so we are going to be, those of you that are asking, we are coming. Chicago, we're coming. Oklahoma, we're going to be coming. New York and California, I know, we're trying. And I get so excited when a doctor responds and I'm like, Chris, you have another webinar. And he's just like, what? What? Last week we did this. We decided to try it. I had 12 doctors already respond to me, and Chris got on, I think, 12 calls. So it's happening. So be patient. Dennis said, I read the first book one sitting, so not getting runovers again, LOL. Now the second one, here we go.
You'll read it just as fast, and that's the whole point. Like, if someone gets this book and goes, oh, this doesn't have big words and stuff. Well,
Yeah.
no, it doesn't.
It's not a Stephen King
It's not.
thick book
Look,
like that.
Don't get me wrong. I could write at a PhD level, but Department of Labor already did that for you. They already made it impossible to understand. So I just made it easier to get. That's it. I just want you to understand it easily. And so my books do that.
Shauna Wall, you said, I was honestly scared because 2 people had been denied in our office, but after listening to you guys, grabbing your book, and finding a caring nurse practitioner, mine was not denied. There you go. Well
That
done.
is a great story. Thank you for saying that.
Mella said, Keith Greeton, this is the group I had mentioned to you a while back. Hi, I'm Jeannie, Keith. Gloria said, if I was denied a CA2, I missed the deadline, can I file again?
Now we're getting tricky. How'd you miss the deadline? So, are you saying that like
You left
filed it 3 years after you knew it was work related? Let me know the answer to that. Did you file it 3 years after you knew it was work related?
That's for Gloria.
Yeah.
Dennis Gonzalez said, it's great, your book. Suzanne said,
Thank you, Dennis.
any near Baltimore or Washington, D.C., we're coming.
Yeah, on the way. We're looking at Maryland, D.C., the whole area. That
By
whole area up
next
there.
week, hoping, or by the end of the month, we will be able to give you guys more information
Yeah.
as to which offices are opening in which states. Hopefully by next week. So hold your horses.
We're expecting a lot of progress this week on new franchisee doctors, new franchisee locations from existing doctors. And if you're watching, you know I'm talking to you.
Rich Ray said, great book. It took me an hour. It's easy,
Good.
guys.
You hear that? That's the whole point. You should be able to read it fast. You should be able to go back to it anytime. The table of contents is pretty easy
bring
to
it up.
understand. And, this is the first book.
Yeah, let me
It's
show
not a
you
big
guys.
book.
Yeah. Look at the font on here. It's like super, where would it go? Yeah. It's like super big, so you can finish it.
Yeah.
This is book 1. This is book 2. I swear, there we go. Woo. There you go. Book 1 and 2, you can buy them individually or you can buy the bundle for $22.
So those of you that are new and you're on here going, oh, okay, I see. You just want us here so you can sell books.
No.
Not at all.
You don't have to buy it either.
There are 2.8 million federal employees, and 1,000 of them have the book right now. We're not here to sell books. If you want the information, I have it for you. And you can go to Breaking OWCP and get it. If you don't want the information, keep coming back every week, and slowly but surely you'll get it here. But some people want it here, and they want the books as well. Union stewards want it. Union presidents are buying 25 at a time. It's there as information because it doesn't exist. You can read the Department of Labor website, but if you understand it, then you're the other one, okay? It took me a little while to figure it out. It's complicated. It's hard. If it was easy, everyone would have accepted claims. Not 1 out of 7, are accepted. So there's devastating effects that come from denied claims, which is our topic tonight. If you have information, the old saying, knowledge is power, is still true. And so all I'm doing is just trying to get you knowledge. I wish someone had done this before, but nobody did. Nobody wrote you books that you can read in 1 hour and then beat the system. The whole point is to beat a system that has just beaten you. And we want to stop that.
So like Debbie, you asked how you can recommend an orthopedic surgeon to us. Okay, so this goes for everybody. If you have a doctor in mind, private message me so I could give you my cell number and my email, and the doctor can contact me if he wants information. So that's all you need to do. I can even send you a picture of my business card on the message you send me. So I will be able to do that.
And we're really happy to talk to your doctors. We just want good, caring, hard-working doctors to join federal injury centers. I don't want doctors that care more about the money than they do about you. Those are not federal injury centers doctors.
And there's and as you guys know, you get tons and tons of papers, and so they have to see all those tons and tons of papers, all your old reports, anything that has to do with whatever it is you're injured at. So you have to make sure you have all your paperwork, all your forms, and the doctor has to be patient enough to read everything.
Yeah.
Gloria said, no, I had 1 year to do the hearing. That's the lady that said, I was denied a CA2, I missed the deadline, can I file again?
So the first deadline, Gloria, is the deadline to file an initial claim. Okay, your initial claim had to be filed within 3 years of the date of injury, which incidentally is box 12 of the CA2. 3 years from that date. if you had a denial and you did a reconsideration, you had 12 months from the reconsideration or from the denial date to get that in. If you miss that reconsideration, you might be in a world of trouble. We'll still try to help you, but give us a call again, 877-787-OWCP, 877-787-OWCP, and let one of us hear the whole story and see if we can help you fix it. But I want to tell all of you, don't miss deadlines. These deadlines oftentimes are the only thing that I cannot overcome. So don't miss deadlines. But let's see if we can help you with this, Gloria.
Any other questions? So I'm going to, if you guys have to send an email message, you can do Jennifer at federalinjurycenters.com or MEEMMY at federalinjurycenters.com or Chris and I at federalinjurycenters.com or Kamini, KAMINI at Federal Injury Centers. Send them your emails and they'll be able to help you guys out.
Yeah.
Have the doctors contact me if they say that I can call them. Rich, if the doctor says, yeah, get me a cell phone number or something, that way I could text them a message or an email address, because then I don't want to seem like I'm just Joe Schmo just harassing them.
Well, and when we go through the receptionist, they try to block us.
Yeah.
So I used to train receptionists to block so nobody would call me ever. So I understand what they're doing. The receptionists are oftentimes very good at blocking calls from their doctors, and they think they're helping the doctor out. They really think the doctor's busy, I'm doing him or her a favor because I'm not letting this call come through. They don't realize that this call is a call that's going to change lives and save lives. They don't know. So if we can get the number to the doctor directly, that's better.
Yeah. So that's pretty much it. Today's live is all about how to fix your denied claim. Don't give up because it's just you got denied. There's ways to fix it if you do it in a timely manner.
Yeah.
If you feel that you're set, because we have patients that have second and third denials. It's okay because we wind up getting them accepted.
Yep.
I'm trying to think of the one here in Clearwater. It was, I think, a year or two and finally got accepted.
Well, like I said, 6.5 out of 7 people that come to us have an accepted claim. That means people that came with denials already. We still get those approved, which for you, when you're not in range of a Federal Injury Centers doctor, what that tells you is there's always a chance that if you don't give up, you have a shot at winning. The woman who said that she took the information from the book and found a nurse practitioner and got an accepted claim, that wasn't our nurse practitioner.
Right.
But I applaud that nurse practitioner for doing a good job. So don't give up. Get the information you need to the doctors or nurse practitioners or PAs and fight like hell to win. Okay, if you don't give up, there's a really good chance you're going to come out on top.
Okay, Vicky, you said, well, crap, I may be in the same predicament as Gloria's in. So again, you can fix your denied claims and tell all your coworkers, because this is what we see and what we hear.
Yeah.
My claim was denied, I just gave up. You know what happens when they just give up? They don't have a job, they're losing everything. Like Rich said, they wind up homeless, repossessed car. I mean, there's so many things that happen. So please remember and pass the message on that a denied claim is not the end of your work injury.
So those of you that have the first book, I just want to point you to Chapter 6 on timeframes. Timeframes are really important. And Chapter 8, avoiding payment denials and getting paid. And Chapter 9, denials, why they happen and how to overcome them. 10 is reconsiderations of denials. So all that is in the first book. If you don't have it yet, but now you know that they are out there, get the bundle. You'll get the second book, and the first book will be half price, and then you'll have all the information I've ever written. This is for you. It doesn't do me any good to have these books sitting in boxes in my garage. I need to ship them out to you because you need them. So go to breakingowcp.com and get the information. It's just critically important that you know what to do and that you share it with your coworkers, your friends, and your friends who are coworkers. Don't let them suffer either. I say this in the book, the second book. You are not alone. It means a lot of things, but one thing that it means is that you don't let your coworkers be alone. You know this information. You're here watching. They're not yet necessarily. Maybe they're not. And so you have a responsibility to pass it on. Okay, so I've given you the information. Tell someone else how to get the information.
Deb Dorset said, I sent in a CA2. It was denied. I asked for reconsideration and submitted more medical info.
Well, that's the right thing. As long as you did reconsideration within 12 months, then it's not over yet. If they haven't made a decision yet, call your claims examiner and ask where we're at in the process.
Lily said, I have an accepted claim, had surgery November 6th, submitted my CA7, still haven't gotten paid. What can I do to get my CA7 paid?
So I talk about this extensively in the first book. You need to attach documentation to your CA7. It's not enough just to turn that in. You need a CA20 to go with it, CA17s that took you off of work. You need a doctor's narrative explaining why you're off of work. You got to send this stuff in with your CA7. If you were off work due to being at doctor's appointments, get printouts of the doctor's appointments and send those in. If you just send a CA7 in without documentation, it'll never get paid. If you get paid, it'll be by accident. All right, well.
Sorry, I'm trying
She's
to
typing
answer.
stuff, and I ran out of stuff to say, which doesn't happen often.
Let's see. Jenna said, please repeat your email. I would like to send you an email. Just go ahead and send it to Jennifer@federalinjurycenters.com.
Yeah.
You may get Emmy answering you or Kamini answering you, so don't
Heck,
be
you
alarmed.
may get me answering you, but
Yeah.
probably not right now. I'm really working hard on getting doctors. But I'm here as a resource for them anyways. Not that they need it. They're very well trained, and they know their stuff. They're experts too. So if you get one of them on the phone, that's good for you.
Yeah. Carol said, the 2 people I gave the book to ultimately gave up and went back to work, still injured. They can get themselves fixed if they want to.
It's not too late for them.
It's not.
Well,
And
if they miss timelines, it's too late.
yeah, I mean, you're welcome. Email any one of us, and we'll be able to see if they need help. Have them call us or have them message us right here.
Yeah.
All right, Deb said, my CA2 was denied. I asked for reconsideration. I have a new medical narrative. Do I need to submit a new CA2?
No, but submit the new medical narrative in with your reconsideration. Get that in right away. You can do that by e-comp.
Okay, so that's all the questions. So again, tonight we went over how to fix your denied claim, and it's not the end of the world. And if you do have a denied claim and you're stuck and you feel like you're getting a second or a third denial, call us, 877-787-OWCP. Email us. As soon as this is done, I'll go ahead and type everybody's email so you have 3 people at your, what's the word I'm looking for, to help you.
Yeah.
And
And don't forget to share this. She's giving away a $200 gift card at the end of the month to whoever has the most shares from the Wednesday Night Chats page. She showed me like things I didn't know, so she can actually see who's sharing and how often. She'll be able to accurately track it, and whoever has the most at the end of the month gets the $200 gift card. The purpose of that is we need more people watching because, as you see now that you're here, this is important, and too many people still don't know it's here. Although we had over 450,000 views in the last 12 months, that's a fraction of the 2.8 million federal employees that are out there. And some of you viewed it more than one time, obviously. So let's get the word out to more people. If we work together to spread the word, we can significantly impact this denied claims problem. And I'm relying on you to tell people that don't know about us yet and bring them here. And then we'll tell them as well to share.
Maria said, Chris, just want to let you know that currently when you call the claims examiner, they don't let you talk to your claims examiner or the person doing the reconsideration.
So ask for the supervisor.
And they haven't been returning their calls.
Call 5 times a day. I don't know what it takes. Like, keep them on speed dial. But I would not give up.
Kevin says, can your manager put your route up for bid if doctors have you off for a year?
Yes. It depends on your craft. I think as a rural carrier it would be 2 years, but I'm not 100% on that because I've been out of the union game for a little while because of COVID. But I know that for some crafts it's a year, for some it's 2 years. And if this is happening to you, you need to go straight to your union and get help. For those of you that don't involve yourselves in your unions, and that's, I think, 90 or 85% of you, that might be a mistake. Okay, you're paying dues. You probably want to go get involved and know who your union leadership is because they can help you.
Yeah. So hopefully that answers your question, Kevin. If not, you can give us a call or email us.
Yep.
Correct. Rural carriers have 2 years.
Yeah.
I don't know what Kevin's craft is, so.
Yeah, but it's probably another craft within the post office, and it's probably 1 year as a result.
So remember, guys, you need to call us, 877-787-OWCP. For the book, I pinned it. If you see it right here, I pinned it right down. That's where you buy the book. We have volume 2 now. You can either buy one or the other, or you can buy the bundle if you haven't had the first one. Other than that, we'll see you next. Oh, he's a city carrier.
Yeah, that's what I thought. So that's going to be 1 year. But you need to get with your union representation and have them help you, because this is like anything else. You don't just like go down without a fight, ever. Okay? Find out what it takes to win, and then do that.
So Kevin, Mr. Ray said, who is an NALC president in Staten Island, he said, carriers injured on the job, their routes should not be taken away. Go to your union meetings. Exactly.
So
We say this all the time.
Yeah, but we're not scolding. We're just saying like, this is how you help yourself.
Yeah.
Get involved with your unions, because they're a wealth of information. You know, there's a line that I can't cross. Like, I can't go over the union line and say, here's what they should do. They know what to do, okay? So I'm going to help you until you get to that line, but definitely cross over to them and let them help you as well.
Katie said 2 years for non-work related injury, but if you go in for 1 day, 2 years starts over.
There you go.
Kevin said he just had knee surgery on Monday. And Rich Ray said, if off the job injury, then 1 year they can take your assignment. So there's people on here giving two different things, because one is a city carrier, one's a roll carrier.
So just know there's a difference.
Yeah.
Go to your union and find out. But I'm going to end with this. So what I teach is that the best way to protect yourself is to clock in. The best way to get paid is clock in. The best way to save your job is clock in. I tell the doctors, and I can't tell doctors what to do, okay? I'm not a doctor, so I can't tell them how to be a doctor. But I tell them, you know, if you can send people back to work even with restrictions, and those restrictions are adhered to, then you're protecting their job. You're protecting their income. And so I tell our doctors, if it's safe, consider sending them back. If it's not safe, obviously don't, okay? But try to go back to work as often as you can safely. It doesn't do anybody any good for you to get hurt worse. But if your supervisors will adhere to your doctor's restrictions, that's good for you in so many ways. So that's just my tip. The surest way to save yourself, protect yourself, is to clock in.
Yeah. Rural union refuses medical. PO owns us. Oh.
I don't know anything about that, but I have nothing to do with that. You call me, and I'll help you no matter what. And we know people who will help you as well.
Ron Jackson said, okay, Dr. Chris.
Thanks, Ron.
Deandra said, we need you all in our union meeting. There's so much not known. So,
Hey,
Deandra, we
we're
agree
ready.
with you. We'd love to come to your union meeting as soon as you guys start having union meetings. We can also do Skype or Zoom meetings. And this is why we tell everybody to come here, because this is the best training. Every week you get trained for an hour.
Yep.
So it's the best thing. So we will see you guys next week. And just to let you guys know, we are discussing supervisors next week.
Oh, I didn't know that, but that's my favorite topic.
Yeah, we're going to be discussing what supervisors are doing and shouldn't do, and how to get them to turn in all your paperwork, and, you know, just stop the lies and the BS that the supervisors tell you. So
I think I'm going to go through my supervisor chapter in volume 2 because it's particularly good. It tells supervisors how to be heroes versus villains.
yeah.
So hopefully some of them will jump on and watch.
I remember last year when we talked about supervisors on that live as it was going, because you guys don't see the full numbers, but on that live when I checked it, it was 4,000 people watching at that one time, because for some reason supervisors are a big topic.
So yeah, we'll tell you what they're doing wrong and what you can do about it.
Oh, Kevin Hall said you both are heroes. Thank you.
Oh man, that's the nicest thing. Thank you, Kevin.
And Rich, I did mean stupid visors.
We hear that all the time, but I try not to do it. Look, nobody's harder on supervisors than I am. I'm from Texas. I say I'll take them behind the woodshed, and a lot of you know what that means. Next week, there's a pretty good chance I'm going to take them out behind the woodshed.
Yeah,
But
he
I'll-
always does when we talk about supervisors.
But that's because I love you guys, and I know what they're doing to you.
TT Norma said, you are amazing. I want both books. TT, right here is the, I pinned it where you can buy the books. So go on there. I'm sure Chris is going to be busy tomorrow packaging books. And again, spread the word about we are going to be discussing stupid visors next week.
We're going to call them supervisors for the purposes of our conversation, but
Ruth said, leave them behind the woodshed. Vicky Davenport said, yep, we have one in our office. And Katie says, can't wait, LOL.
So
is gonna be fun.
give your favorite supervisors the link to Wednesday night OWCP chats and tell them to watch.
I won't say stupid visors.
I mean, look, I might find a way to work it in, but I won't directly call them that.
All right, guys, we'll see you next week to discuss the famous stupid visors.
All right, it was nice talking to everybody tonight.
Have a good
See you next
night.
week. Bye.